words to serve the moment, which I've no compunction now to contradict. How else but by lying and seeming so loving could I have plotted my enemy's downfall? How rig the net so it can't be leapt out of? This is the blood grudge, the grudge's fruition, something I've brooded on quite a long time. I've done what I meant to. I wouldn't deny it. Over his head I cast a vast trammel, the sort that hauls in whole shoals. At each casting, he couldn't get out of his rich, flowing doom robe. Twice I struck him, he screamed twice, then crumpled. Once he had fallen, I struck him a third blow. One struck for Zeus in his role as corpse keeper. He lay there gasping and splurting his blood out, spraying me with dark blood dew. Dew I delight in, as much as the grain crop in the fresh gloss of rainfall, when the wheat buds in labor and swells into birth pang. So that's how it is, old men of Argos. Cheer if you want to. I revel in glory. He's had his libation, spurts from his blood vein. He poured woe and bitterness into our wine bowl. He's got the last goblet and laps up the lees.
Your words revolt me. How can you trumpet so unlike a woman over your man lord?
Still you can treat me like a woman who's witless. My heart's made of steel, and as I have stated, whether you like it or not, there's Agamemnon. This is the sword hand that brought him to blood right. I hacked down my husband. That's how it is.
Woman, some earthbend's driving you crazy.
To brave the damning voice of the people.
You've sown and you'll reap.
Punishment.
Exile. Driven out of the country.
Cursed at and spat at.
Oh, now you're ready with banishment, exile, the people's hatred and public damnation. And how did you punish this murderer here? Meant as little to him as slaughtering cattle. His sheepfolds were bursting. He butchered his she-child, the she-child I labored to launch on her life lot as some specious godsop to settle a storm squall. You should have banished him for pollution. But it's now that you start to play at stern judges. Banishment, if you can make me. If you enforce it, if I prove the stronger, I'll teach you some wisdom. You'll go back to school and learn some hard lessons.
You're maddened by power-lust raving.
Your brains be weevilled with blood deeds.
Your eyes have red blood flecks for pupils.
Your doom's to be honourless,
Friendless.
defenseless.
and stab wound for stab wound you reap retribution.
Then listen to this, the oath that I'll swear by. By blood right exacted on behalf of my she-child. By Iphigenia, whose blood grudge has roosted. By the fury for whom Agamemnon's the booty. I swear I'll never let fear to my fireside as long as the hearth's kept alight. By Aegisthus, loyal friend always, my shield, my protector. Look at him. Shagamemnon, shameless, shaft-happy, ogler and grinder of Troy's golden girlhood. Look at her, spear prize, prophetess, princess, whore of his war tent, is bashed back on shipboard. They've got their deserts, the two of them now. There he lies. She's sung her swan song and lies, as she should do, stretched out alongside him. His dear's death a side dish to the banquet of his.
King Agamemnon, how can we mourn you? How give a voice to bereavement and love loss?
There in the spider's web, spewing your life out.
The impious weapon swung by the spouse.
Fiend! Spouse? No. Wife? No. What swung the sword blades? The semblance, the shape of this corpse's spouse only. Wielding the weapon was no wife and no woman, but his family's phantom. Atreus, the flesh chef, offering flayed these fully fledged victims, one for each butchered and barbecued babe.
You guiltless.
You guiltless.
And who be your witness?
Well, some god must have helped you fulfill the blood grudge.
Black Ares, a mock wading deep in the blood bog.
The blood grudge that goads him, the cold joints of children.
King Agamemnon,
How can we mourn you? How give a voice to bereavement and love loss? There in the spider's web, spewing your life out, the impious weapon swung by the spouse fiend.
His death's no worse than the one he inflicted when he forged his own link in this house's doomed chain. He suffered the fakes, he made others suffer. Iphigenia still wept for, sweet flower, his she-child. Don't go boasting in Hades, steel slinger, sword brute. You got back your stab wounds, all you inflicted.
My mind's off its moorings. Foundations are shaking.
No longer a drizzle.
A hammering bloodstorm. Fate strops its blade for more and more blood bouts.
Earth! 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 Why didn't you take me?
Rather than let me live to see the king humbled.
Sprawled out in his blood in a bathtub of silver.
Who'll bury the body? Who'll sing the grave dirge?
You wouldn't surely first kill our clan chief, then pour specious tributes over his tomb cairn?
Who'll mourn him with real grief, and not a mask only?
That's not your business. I hacked him down, and the sword hand strong enough to strike him can dig him a ditch! No mourning. From no one. All that's forbidden. Iphigenia, she'll greet him by the waters of sorrow, flinging her arms round her father to kiss him.
Collar for collar, blood grudge for blood grudge. While Zeus, the high he-god, is still the god's clan chief, the law for the living is killers get killed.
Blights in the bloodstream.
Curse in the corpuscles.
The feet of this clan bogged down in the blood quag.
The future, the truth, you're beginning to see them. I'll make a bond with this palace's blood fiend. What's happened so far, I'll accept and fall in with. Hard though that is, I'll do it, provided the fiend leaves this house and finds other quarters to ravage the people and goad them to murder. Riches mean nothing. A little suffices. If only this frenzy of kin-killing ceases.
When blood right comes into its own. This proves there are gods who see crimes and punish. I'm happy, so happy, to see this man tangled in robes of dark red. The furies have woven, fulfilling the blood grudge caused by his father. This man's father, Atreus, once king of Argos, there being some dispute as to who should be clan chief, drove my father, his brother Thyestes, away. Thyestes came back as a suppliant, begging at least his life-sparing, the minimum mercy, no son's blood, staining his father's own threshold. But this man's father, Atreus the godless, whose mask of warm welcome kept hatred hidden, threw a great banquet as if for Thyestes and dished up his children as the daintiest tidbits. The fingers and toes he chopped off to disguise it. And my father, alone of the guests, got this child's stew. Not being aware what it was he was eating, he bolted the banquet that blasted this blood clan. When he knew what he chewed, he choked on the child's stew, shrieked, reeled backward, spewed out the offal, turned over the tables and cursed the whole blood clan, grinding the meat into mush with his boot heel. And that's why your clan chief is lying there murdered, and I wove the net we got him ensnared in. Third son of Thyestes, I plotted for blood right. Driven out with my father while only a baby, as a man I've returned, escorted by blood right. In exile I had all the threads twisted, ready, biding my time for the trap to be fashioned. Now I die happy, happy now blood rights got Agamemnon caught fast in fate's trammel.
Aegisthus, gloating,
revolting,